Welcome to our last installment of the Black Bonspiel. We've reached the climax of the epic curling match between Wally McCrimmon and the Devil. If Wally wins, the Devil will deliver him the Canadian Brier Championship. However, if the Devil wins, the Devil gets Wally's soul, and Wally will be forced to spend eternity throwing third rock on the Devil's rink. Last time we looked in, it wasn't looking good for the McCrimmon rink. They were down 4-1, and Wally's lead, Crosscut, had just gone down injured after some mischief by Satan. However, that last act appears to have galvanized the curling haters Annie Brown and Reverend Pringle to finally support Wally in his Sabbath day match, and we'll soon find out what his rink can muster over the last few ends to save Wally's immortal soul, and I'll give him the chance of being reunited with his Mary in heaven. The Black Bonspiel of Wally McCrimmon, Chapter 9.
I saw it. He tripped him. You've made your point, Reverend. Unfortunately, deliberately.
Your word against mine, the Devil said. Unless you've got witnesses, you have no case.
I know what I saw with my own eyes, what you did with your right leg to trip Crosscut and send him,
and I say he simply lost his balance and fell. And unfortunately for him, and for the McCrimmon rink, his lumbar disc slipped out and the match is now over. For without a lead, Mr. McCrimmon must forfeit.
It should never have begun. It's against the Lord's Day Act and the Shelby bylaw. I came here to stop it.
Then your mission has been accomplished, Reverend. Congratulations.
I'm afraid he's right, Reverend, Willie said. No way I can find a lead to replace Crosscut. Just move the match ahead a day or two, and we can't. I have to keep the bargain I made with him.
To the contract letter, the Devil said.
Come on, how important is 1 or 2 day game delay?
Forfeit important.
Just outside the Jock McNair rink, Crosscut was hobbling, bent over with his elbow in Annie's grip and her arm round his back when he came to a painful decision. All right, hold up.
Easy, Charlie. Just take it easy.
I'm trying to, Charlie groaned.
You're going to make it. We get you to the truck and we get you home and into bed. I think there's still some of your muscle relaxant pills left from the last time. A double dose will... Oh, poor Charlie.
Let go of my elbow. Oh, take your arm away.
I'm only trying to help.
Don't. As he pulled away from her, another spasm stabbed him and he gripped at his back. Don't touch me.
I have to get you home and get the heating pad on it. You'll never make it home without my...
That's right. He teetered around 180 degrees. I'm not going to make it home, with or without you. I'm going to make it back into the curling rink. I'm going to yell and holler for Willie and make those other buggers wish they'd stayed in hell.
I'm still unwilling to believe what Willie has told me, Pringle was saying. Whoever you are, wherever you hail from, up or down. Down, the Devil said.
That does it! Reverend Pringle began to take off his black overcoat. Willie, I'll curl lead for you in Crosscut's place.
Oh, Reverend, you can't do that. You can't break the Lord's day. It's the Sabbath, in case you'd forgotten, Reverend, the Devil said.
Not any more, it isn't. 'Tis, Willie said. Thank ye all the same. It is now exactly 3 minutes past midnight, Pringle said. The Sabbath is over.
That clock says 3 minutes past 11, the Devil said. Daylight saving. That's right, 3 minutes past 11 daylight savings time.
The Lord does not run on man-made daylight saving, but on celestial standard time. Pringle turned to Willie. I'll curl lead for you on one condition. Every Sunday I want to see you in a front pew at Grace United Church.
Oh, no, I must remain continuing presbyter... All right, no deal. Go ahead, forfeit the match, and, according to you, your soul.
Now the devil was grinning. Sorry it had to end this way, Willie. I'd rather it had. The hell you would! He turned to Pringle. Lesser of two evils. All right. Ye and pipe-fitting sweet malleable second rock. His last one's a beauty. He turned to the devil. Ye may have been a wee bit too busy trippin' crosscut to notice that it came round the guard to stop and bite the forefoot. The devil was no longer grinning. That really does it, Willie. You break any term in our contract, and you forfeit. No, we curl on with Pringle as my lead, so there's no forfeit. But there is. The devil had taken out his contract with Willie. He held it out to them. Section 4, paragraph 2a, if the party of the first part or the party of the second part, for any reason other than those exceptions listed in Agenda 111C and 1V, do not finish the regulation 10 ends and or extra ends, they shall forfeit. Pringle reached for the contract. Let me see that. Private, Reverend, between me and McCrimmon. Aha! Just as I thought, Willie said, as he had taken his own copy out of his sporran. Just as I thought. Nowhere at all in here is there a no substitution clause. And there is no clause saying you can substitute, nor is there one says I cannot substitute. Have it your way. Match over, men, off the ice and down home. Not a wise decision, Pringle said. You can get an even worse name by cheating and tripping and breaking agreements, and refusing my new lead with no contract grounds for a refusal, Willie said. Guy Fawkes had been listening in on this exchange. Let us pick up where we left off. Why, my lord, why not? The church has traditionally been on the losing side. I should know. The devil angrily agreed. All right, Macbeth. Take out their rock in the forefoot. Clootie headed back down the ice, ignoring the razzing that came from Crosscut, who stood with one foot up on the bench, one hand on his back. Willie nodded to Pringle. You'll be up with your first rock next end, Reverend. Yes, I know. I have curled since I was 12. For now, let's offer up a prayer. No, let us curl. Pipe fitting. Get to Macbeth before he curls his rock if you can. Pipe fitting headed for Macbeth, who was standing by the boards and waiting for his skip to get into position at the far end. Howdy, Macbeth. How's it going for you? Slowly Macbeth shook his head. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition. Yeah, Willie just mentioned that to me. Only one thing you can do. Get over to that hack, grab the handle, and let her fly. No, not that one. That one's mine. Yours is down there by the hack. Evidently, Macbeth was not hearing him clearly. He raised a hand and held it out. Is this a curling rock I see before me, the handle toward my hand? I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou now a stone of granite, sensible to sweeping as to sight? Or can thou be a curling rock of the mind, a false creation, outturning from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet in form as palpable as this. I told you, Macbeth, your rock's over by the hack, Pipe Fitting said. You gotta wake up. Macbeth hath murdered sleep. Something I oughta tell you. If you fellas was to win the match, then Wooly comes down onto your rink, and if he does, he's gonna curl third. And if he curls third, a new look stole over Macbeth's face. Macbeth shall sweep no more. But if we was to win this match, then you'd still curl third for... Okay, we need a double takeout, Macbeth, the devil called. They're lying too. You can do it. Start thinking positively for a change. Macbeth crouched, grabbed the handle of the real rock, swung and slid to go right through the house, missing both of the McCrimmon stones lying shot in the 4-foot ring. Yippee! Yelled Malleable. Praise the Lord! Shouted Pringle. We stole 2 on 'em. Pipe-Fitting went over to Macbeth, rising from the hack. Tough good luck, Macbeth. Now they show the scoreboard again, and the McCrimmon rink has scored 2 in the 7th to make the score 4-3. Well, Wooly, 3 more ends to go, just 1 down on 'em. You were right about Macbeth. Judging from that one he blew, you must have done quite a fine job on him, Pipe-Fitting. I think it's just a start. We're going to get that devil by the tail on a downhill pull. Watch it, Pipe. Sorry, meant to say he'd get us. He'll make sure he has the hammer for the last rock in the 10th by making 8 and 9 bald-headed ends. Something eating you, Willie? I want you to keep an eye on Clutie. Yeah? I should have used both of them. Both of what? Tell you later. Just watch every movement he makes. For what? Specifically his left leg. I don't get it. See if he misses a step, his balance, any sign of discomfort, pain. Okay, but I still don't... I don't understand it. It's not working out at all. Would you gentlemen kindly put an end to whatever you're plotting? Let's get on with the match. 3 to go, and it's 4-3 edge we've got on you. I'll level with you. Brace yourself for the next 2 bald-headed ends to give us last rock coming home so that I win match and soul, Willie. Dinna count your souls before they're hatched, Clutie. Wooly, bastard's limping. Aye, a wee bit. And we're counting 2 now. Macbeth missed, again. And if he misses this one, and you get behind that left guard, then we'll see. Macbeth did miss, and Wooly did get his first rock behind the guard. So they lay 3 for the devil's first rock. He took out 1, but went out as well himself. Pipe-Fitting held his broom out and down for Wooly's last rock in the last end. Right here, Willie. Draw well over so he can't get a double takeout and stay. Willie swung, slid, and let her go. Dead on, Willie, Pipe-Fitting yelled. Little heavy on the weight, Pringle said over his shoulder as he swept with Malleable. Dinna sweep! Dinna sweep! Willie yelled. Both of them stopped and watched anxiously as the rock crossed the hog line, made it barely round the hell guard, then died to a stop perfectly covered. Lovely draw, Wally, called Pipe-Fitting. Better than kicking that, shouted Crosscut from the bench with Annie, who clapped a hand over his mouth so that he couldn't complete the congratulation. All right, Macbeth, the devil said. Here is where I want your broom if I'm to do a double takeout to win. Double, toil and trouble. Shut your mouth! If we lose, it will be because of you. You won't ever curl 3rd for me, or 2nd, or lead. Out, brief. I said shut up! He started up the sheet to the curling end to deliver his and the match's last rock. He's really limping now, Pipe-Fitting said. Let's hope what's not. He's having trouble getting his foot in the hack. He don't get our 2 out of the 4-foot, we win her. If he gets them both, we'll lose. Pringle had come over to them. He's having some trouble, isn't he? We'll see, Willie said. They watched the devil crouch, interrupt his shot in the middle of his swing, take another go at it, then another, before the final release. Sweep! Sweep! From the wrong end of the ice, Guy Fawkes in Iscariot came up to meet the traveling stone. Not nearly enough weight for a takeout, Pringle said. It's dying. It did die after Fawkes and Iscariot swept past it, a good foot before the hog line. Hogged it. Not worth a whoop. Nailed their hide to a fence post. He blowed it. We win by 1 drop. We beat the sons up. Praise the Lord. In a rage, the devil threw his broom down the ice almost as far as his rock had gone. With lopsided gait, he crossed to the bench and began to take off his right boot. Wally's men gathered round him with brooms held victory high. They shook hands and they hugged. "McCrimmon!" The devil was holding out his boot. In his other hand lay a rivet. "I found this between the inner and outer sole. You put it there." "Aye, I must confess I did." "Sharp, sterling silver, to which, as you must know, I'm allergic." "I've heard on tell, right enough. You and all your witches. Sorry I had to do it, Clooty. Tell you what, to make up for it, any time ye need boots mended, I'll do them free of charge, with no silver rivets or tacks." The devil threw the boot down on the ice. Then, like some hell-fire preacher, he raised both arms, then brought them down, turned up his palms, and swung them upwards. There came an explosive thunder, and lightning burst, and the Jock McNair rink filled with drifting smoke. When it cleared, Wally and his friends were alone. The visitors to Shelby had gone. Pringle bent down and picked up the devil's curling boot. He turned to Willie. "He's a poor loser." "He sure was tonight," Malleable said. "His own fault. He'd have won it if he hadn't hogged that last losing rock." "Aye, his own fault. And his feet. A man can't curl a fine game with his mind on his feet." "Goddamn right," Malleable said. "'Scuse me, Reverend." "Pipe fitting? About that sterling silver rivet? I couldn't tell ye ahead of time about it. Might have spoiled the magic effect of it. Perhaps now it's over, Reverend Pringle might explain it to you, more in his line." "I will." Pringle was holding out the boot to Willie. "Here. Yours to keep, Reverend. Might help you bring some bones in a few of your sermons." "Slight possibility, Willie." "Pipe fitting? Yeah?" "I'm going to be needing you and Malleable to curl for me in a short while." "Return match?" "No, Malleable. And quite possibly you too, Reverend, to curl lead for me. You did fine, and with that slit disc of his and that wife of his, could be Crosscut's last curling match. Glad to, Willie. To win or lose, as the case may be, the Canadian Brier Championship." "Long odds on that one, Willie." "Not really, Reverend. Pipe fitting. How old are you?" 52. "Malleable?" "Same." "Reverend?" 31. "Why?" "Another important match. Your age determines whether you might qualify." "What are you driving at?" "Ever heard of the celestial briar, Malleable?" "No, I ain't." "Between heaven and hell, when your time comes?" "Oh, come on, Willie," Pringle said. "If she's what I think she is, Wally," Pipe Fitting said, "that's one match I kinda think I'd be curling against you." "Wally, it may be 1 in a billion chance, but if there is such a match, I'd give anything to curl lead for you again against that gentleman who just left." "Then you'll have to break your bylaw again, Reverend. He only curls on the Sabbath." Maclean's Sports Column by Bill Frayne. Sure Shot Shelby Shoemaker's Success, a Sweeping Saga. Curling is a sport played by those who, when they were children, did not listen to their mothers warning them never to throw stones. Ed Lukovich, a young curler who may well make his mark on the game, likes to believe that curling started in prehistoric times with glacier-dwelling citizens relaxing from a tiring woolly mammoth hunt by sliding rocks from one cave to the other. This would, of course, explain the origin of the expression "through the house" for a rock thrown with excessive velocity. Excessive would seem to describe the theory that the game originated with the Vikings. This would qualify as mere wild talk the sort of thing no one would ever expect to see in print. Then again, perhaps we should not put anything past a group that wore funny hats, shouted and drank a lot, and traveled across the sea to found a colony in a place called Iceland. Nowadays in Canada there are very few Viking traditions associated with the game. Few rinks arrive by boat. Sacking and pillaging is frowned on. Visiting rinks carry women off home with them only after the appropriate courtship rituals have been observed. Often, indeed, it is the visiting women doing the carrying, and horned helmets have given way to Scotch tams. These days, from coast to coast, curling is the great Canadian game. Forget lacrosse, most people have. Take away hockey, which is only good for those who are young and healthy with a good dental plan. Don't even mention Americanized pastimes like baseball or Dr. Naismith's peach basket invention for stilt people. No, pound for pound, curling is the great participatory sport in Canada. Every winter, curling is where the participation is at echoing rinks in places large and small across the country. In places like Shelby, in fact, Shelby, Alberta, home to this year's winner of the Canadian Brier, Wally McCrimmon and his rink. Shelby, slightly bigger than a fly speck of a hamlet in the foothills east of the Rockies, must be proud of their shoe repairer and harness maker, McCrimmon and his rink. Your agent gathers that in Shelby everyone is named Charlie Brown unless proven otherwise, that being the case with the rink's third, a plumber, Charlie Brown, and its second, a blacksmith, Charlie Brown, locally distinguished as pipe-fitting and malleable. The lead, strangely named Pringle, the Reverend William Pringle to be exact, led them in brief prayer just before the first stone was curled, although to this observer's jaundiced eye not all of the rink seemed equally devout. Some members of the rink, in fact, behaved with quiet confidence throughout, as if divine intervention was not required for them to win. The Reverend Pringle, it should be explained, was a substitute lead replacing another Charlie Brown, a carpenter, who is recovering from spinal surgery for a slipped disc. The injury was sustained in what Reverend Pringle described as an important warm-up match. This innocuous remark was approvingly repeated by the rest of the rink, with much hearty laughter. No doubt the laughter can be ascribed to the good fellowship that curling folks tell you traditionally surrounds curling events. And there was a great deal of good fellowship in evidence at the arena. Over the 4 days, the Bonspiel, more good fellowship was spilled than in the average bar in 10 years. The surviving members of the Shelby rink are not notably young or athletic, both of the Charlie Browns in evidence being built for comfort with impressive front porches. Skip McCrimmon, a wiry specimen, is not in the first flush of youth, and is close to what his lead would no doubt describe as his allotted span of 60 years and 10. But throughout the days of the Brier, while the din in the crowded Winnipeg arena showed why this is known as the roaring game, they curled like men possessed. After the last winning rock was curled by the McCrimmon rink, and sporting handshakes had been exchanged all round, the match came to a royal end. A red carpet was hastily rolled out on the ice for the Governor-General to present the Brier Cup to the jubilant McCrimmon rink. There was even talk of the McCrimmon rink being brought to Ottawa to give a demonstration. This is welcome news. Ottawa is one city that could learn much from straight shooters. The win qualifies the Shelby rink to represent Canada when they compete for the international icing on the curling cake in Edinburgh next month. It is hard to say which match is more important to the Scottish-born McCrimmon. When asked how he felt about his rink's performance in winning the Canadian Brier, McCrimmon, in an accent that owes more to Auchtermuchty than to Shelby, said, "Aye, it seems we did curl one devil of a match to win it." The end. So that concludes our little dance into the black Bonspiel of Wooly McCrimmon. I hope you've enjoyed this little story, and that it keeps your interest in curling alive for another generation. Until then, Wully will be curling in the celestial briar on the heaven team with his Mary in the crowd cheering on for him, and we'll all do our best to imitate his devilishly good performance in our own curling matches. Thank you.